Hey guys, Sherman614 here. I've been kind of putting off this review because just about everybody and their dog owns a Spyderco Endura. But, you know, I wanted you guys to have my view on this knife. Like I said, I know it is such a popular knife and just about everybody has one. But still, I want to give you guys my opinion. This is the Spyderco Endura 4. As you see, it has that nice Spidey bug with the Spyderco, and it says Endura 4 right there. I think they call this their multi-directional textured grip or something like that. But as you see on this end, where your hand is going, like if the blade were to slip, then it's slanted that way towards the pivot screw. That's kind of nice. It holds your hand in there pretty well. And also, this side going in the opposite direction down towards the pocket clip, so that you can put your finger right there, your thumb, and it's like almost acts as like jimping. So that's really cool. If you're to hold the knife like this, and that side facing that way, it keeps your hand from really slipping. So that's actually not really a gimmicky handle texture design at all. It's actually really purposeful and effective. So good job, Spyderco. It's really nice. The typical Delica 4 pocket clip, very strong, very well made. I don't know why more knife companies don't take a hint. Look at where that pocket clip is resting. It's not resting on that multi-directional textured handle. No, it's resting on that flat spot on the handle, so that you have no problem getting this in and out of your pocket. It will not tear up your pocket at all. I don't know why it's so hard for other knife companies to understand that. I'm sorry to those other knife companies, but you know, I tell it like it is, and that kind of bugs me. It seems like a lazy design when they don't do that. So Spyderco gave the forethought of doing this with their Delica and Endura knives. I love it. I love that idea. Also, something I love about Spyderco, look at that. Right-handed tip up, right-handed tip down. Left-handed tip up, left-handed tip down. It is Spyderco's 4-way pocket clip design. I love it. I wish more knife companies would do this, because they would actually sell more knives that way. Because I know some left-handed people who really love some knives, but they can't get them because they are not ambidextrous knives. They are just for right-handed people. So this way you get a lot more sales, because, you know, you don't have to worry about a pocket clip because with Spyderco's opening hole. So anyway, it's just great. It's a great knife design. It's a great handle design, pocket clip design, whatever you want to categorize it as. It's just amazing. I love it. I've talked about this handle enough. Let's get on to that blade. That is a massive blade. 4 inches to be exact. If I'm not mistaken, I have trusty Mr. Ruler here. Yep, exactly 4 inches long. That's a monster right there. That nice, I believe it's called a drop point blade. Here again, I could be wrong. I have a hard time memorizing all the blade designs. I believe they call that a saber grind, if I'm not completely mistaken. Got some fingerprints on there. So the blade, it does start about mid-blade. The grind starts mid-blade. It's not bad. It's not a hollow ground, which I would prefer. VG10 steel. Excellent steel. I've had nothing but great things to say about that steel. Carried this knife for a while. I've carried this for about a month for EDC use. And I was cutting, at the time, a lot of corrugated plastic. And that blade has not dulled a bit. It's still shaving sharp. Let's look at the base of that blade. It's Spyderco and VG10 stamped into the tang of that blade. And also Seki City, Japan, which is where it was made. They're also made in Colorado. So just look at that. I mean, that's a big knife. Let's look at it in my hand. I mean, it sticks out a good ½ an inch out of my hand, and I have fairly bigger hands, fairly big-ish hands. Okay, let's just talk about the ergonomics here. Where I'm holding it, which is where most of you guys, this is about how you'd always be holding this knife. These fingers are resting on that multi-directional, or whatever you want to call it, textured handle. And they're not, and if I'm really digging my hand in there, my hand isn't slipping because of the way that textured handle is designed. So that's an amazing design. It really does work. It's not a gimmick. It has some really nice thumb ramp jimping right there. Your thumb isn't gonna slip at all. So I love that. Spyderco really gets their jimping down right. And it also has some jimping on these FRN handles. Not very purposeful, because that lock right there, it kind of deflects you from being able to get a grip on that. So it has skeletonized steel liners. That's kind of hard to see. You can kind of see it glistening on there. Has a Boyd dent on the lock here. And all the Delicas and Enduras are lock-back knives. This knife opens up extremely fast for a lock-back, mainly because of the size of that blade. I mean, like, you can see it compared to my hand, like in the hand. It feels really comfortable though in reverse grip, saber grip, hammer grip, whatever you want to grip it. Like I said, insanely sharp blade. Let's see if I can do a cutting test. Had some stuff on here written on there so I could remember from my last knife review. Trying to pay attention so I don't cut myself. I'm not even looking at the camera. So yeah, I didn't have much paper there to cut, but just take my word for it. It's razor sharp. It still shaves. It still shaves hair. It is hair popping sharp. So yeah, and of course it has that non-sharpened portion of the blade there, so you can bring it down there and stop it with your index finger. But be careful. Do not put your index finger down here and try that. Put it right there. That way, it's a very nice design because you can open this one-handed and close it one-handed. Let's see if I can do a Spidey drop. It's possible. Not that effective though. It's actually more effective to just open it. Now, if you have a Delica, it's it's easier to do the Spidey drop. Just wanted to bring in a Spyderco Delica 4 so you can see the comparison. Open. And that's partially serrated. I already have a review of this little guy up if you guys want to check that out. So as you can see there's a difference. So if you're into bigger EDC knives, now this would really be hard to be an EDC knife in my personal opinion. I did use it as one, but I wouldn't recommend it as one. This is mainly just a self-defense / tactical knife, to be perfectly honest with you guys. Because really, you don't need a 4-inch blade for a utility knife. And it's really kind of overkill. Like I said, I did carry it as EDC and it worked very well. It kind of freaks some people out. You get some weird looks. If you can help it, you don't really want to draw unwanted attention to yourself. So if you're going to carry one, I would recommend carrying a Delica. You know, they're a little bit easier to take out and use, and they still have all the same features. VG10 steel, razor sharp, same skeletonized handles, 4-way pocket clip, the exact same knife, just smaller scale. In the very near future, I'm going to be getting some more of these with the full flat grind blade. The FFG, I believe they're called. The FFG Enduras and Delicas. I'd love to be getting some of those. And I put in an email to yourcornerstore.com, which they're currently selling the FFGs. They have them in the green, purple, and brown. They're out of stock in the blue. I really want one with the blue FRN handles. And they're currently out of stock. But I put in a email to them and haven't received a confirmation back yet. But so yeah, I would really love to get one in a blue. And I wouldn't mind having one in a purple, to be honest with you. It'd just be very different. And they are about the same price as these too, if not a little bit cheaper. Because I think it's easier to make full flat ground knives. And I just personally like the full flat grind better. In case you're wondering, if you're not quite familiar, full flat grind, which I wasn't either until about a year ago. This is the Spyderco Tenacious full flat grind. And this is the way that the FFG Enduras are made, the full flat grind. How much do one of these run you may ask? I paid $64 for this one. Paid $54 for the Delica. Is that a good price, you may ask? I think they could be a little bit cheaper, personally. You're not getting a god knife here. I mean, it's a very, very well-made knife. Like, you're gonna pass this down to your grandkids, and they're gonna pass it down to their grandkids. You know, the VG10 steel is amazing steel, but come on, Spyderco. It's VG10 steel and FRN handles. They make $10 knives with FRN. So, I mean, they're proud of their knives. You can get the FFG versions. I believe you can get an FFG and Endura for about $55 at yourcornerstore.com, and you can get an FFG Delica for, I believe, $48 at your corner store. But like I said, they have plenty of the purple, greens, and browns. They do not have any blues as of today. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little review. And definitely check out this line of knives, the Endura and the Delica 4s. They are amazing knives, great EDC / tactical knives. I would highly recommend them to anyone, but they are a little bit on the pricey side, to be perfectly honest. So if you want a kind of a cheaper version, the Spyderco Tenacious. Not very comparable steel, but you know. And also check out the FFG versions of these knives. Sherman 614. Peace.